You might think you're just tired. Or that forgetting where you left the keys is just one of those days. But what if those everyday annoyances are actually trying to tell you something? What if your body is whispering a warning, and it's up to you to listen before it starts to scream? Across the country, seniors just like you are brushing off symptoms that seem harmless, even normal. A little weight loss here. A nap that feels longer than it should. A trip to the bathroom that's just a bit more frequent than last week. It's easy to chalk these things up to aging. We've all done it. But here's the thing, some of the most serious health problems don't come crashing in. They creep. They arrive in disguise. And before you know it, they've taken hold. What if, right now, your body is raising its hand, trying to get your attention? Today, we're pulling back the curtain. We're going to reveal 5 symptoms that most people overlook, but shouldn't. And by the time we're done, you might just realize that what you thought was nothing could be the most important signal your body has ever sent. And the first one? It's probably happening right under your nose. Imagine this, a man in his early 70s starts losing a little weight. Not much. Just a few pounds here and there. His friends say, "You look great. What's your secret?" He laughs it off, thinking maybe he's just been eating lighter. But a few months later, he's in the hospital. The cause? A hidden illness that had been quietly advancing, using his weight loss as its only early clue. This isn't just a story. It's a reality for countless seniors every year. When we ignore the small stuff, what we think is just aging, we give disease a head start. And once it gets going, it doesn't wait for us to catch up. The window to act shrinks fast. What could have been handled with a simple doctor's visit becomes something far more serious. And far more difficult to treat. Doctors and researchers agree, early detection is one of the best weapons we have in staying healthy as we age. And the earlier you catch something, whether it's heart trouble, early dementia, or even cancer, the more options you have to fight it. But here's the problem. The early signs rarely shout. They whisper. And if we're not paying attention, we miss them. That's why knowing what to look for isn't just helpful, it's potentially life-saving. So let's dive in. Let's explore these 5 symptoms, ones so many people ignore, and show you exactly what they could mean. And the first one might be something you've already noticed in the mirror. It can start with something as subtle as a smaller waistline. One day, your pants fit differently. You pull your belt a notch tighter. Friends compliment you, looking good. And you smile, maybe even feel proud. But deep down, you know you haven't changed your eating habits. You haven't been exercising more. The weight just slipped away. And while that might seem like a lucky break, unexplained weight loss, especially in older adults, is often a signal that something more serious is going on. Your body could be reacting to a thyroid imbalance, a digestive issue, or, in some cases, even cancer. The pounds may vanish quietly, but the reason behind it could be speaking louder than you realize. The real question is, what's your body trying to say? Then there's the tiredness. Not the kind that comes from a long day or a bad night's sleep. This is different. You go to bed early, sleep through the night, and still wake up feeling like you've run a marathon. Making breakfast feels like a chore. A walk to the mailbox leaves you winded. Friends say it's just getting older, but inside, something doesn't feel right. Fatigue like this might not be from aging at all, it could be pointing to something deeper. Conditions like heart trouble, low iron levels, or kidney disease can all drain your energy without a single warning sign. Sometimes, even depression hides behind that constant weariness. So if every day feels heavier than the last, maybe it's not just about slowing down. Maybe it's your body waving a red flag. And what about changes in the bathroom? Not the kind people talk about at lunch or bring up casually in conversation, but the kind you quietly wonder about in the back of your mind. Maybe you've started waking up multiple times at night to go. Or perhaps you've noticed constipation showing up more often, or even small traces of blood that vanish as quickly as they came. It's tempting to ignore these things, to blame them on diet or age or dehydration. But that's exactly what makes them dangerous. Because behind even the smallest change in your bathroom routine could be signs of a urinary tract infection, colon trouble, or in more serious cases, cancer. It's uncomfortable to think about. But silence can be costly. Your body never stops talking, you just have to be willing to listen. Now imagine walking across the room and suddenly needing to catch your breath. You pause, hoping it passes. Maybe you haven't walked that fast in a while, you tell yourself. Maybe it's just the weather. But then it happens again. A flight of stairs feels like a mountain. Talking while walking leaves you gasping. This kind of shortness of breath doesn't usually come out of nowhere, it builds, slowly. And often, it's your heart or lungs trying to get your attention. Conditions like COPD, congestive heart failure, or even dangerous blood clots can all present this way. And yet, too many people shrug it off. Don't be one of them. Because the next time it happens, you may not have stairs to blame. And finally, perhaps the most frightening of all, is when your mind starts to feel unfamiliar. At first, it's small, forgetting a name, misplacing a date. But then it grows. You miss a payment you've never forgotten before. You forget how to get home from a familiar store. Conversations become harder to follow. For many seniors, these early signs of cognitive decline sneak in quietly and are too often dismissed as senior moments. But this isn't just forgetfulness, it could be the beginning of dementia, Alzheimer's, or other neurological issues. The truth is, the earlier you notice these changes, the more control you have to manage them. Denial can be comforting. But facing it can be life-changing. So what do you do when your body starts whispering? When the clues are subtle and the consequences so potentially serious, what's the next move? The first step is the one many people delay for too long, talking to a doctor. Not just for emergencies or annual checkups, but really talking. Telling them about the things you might otherwise ignore. I've been more tired lately. I've lost a little weight without trying. My memory feels a little different. These aren't complaints. They're clues. And your doctor is the detective who needs every single one to solve the puzzle. But it doesn't stop there. Another powerful tool is keeping a journal, a simple notebook where you write down what you're feeling each day. When did the fatigue start? How many nights have you gotten up to use the bathroom? Have you had any dizzy spells? What might seem small today could be the missing piece in 2 months. Patterns tell stories, and sometimes those stories can save your life. Don't underestimate preventive care either. Screenings for colon cancer, blood pressure checks, heart scans, and memory assessments may seem routine, but they catch the things you can't see. And catching something early? That's the secret weapon to staying in control. And here's the part many forget: trust your instincts. You've lived long enough to know when something doesn't feel right. That gut feeling? It's often spot on. You don't need to know what's wrong. You just need to know that something is off. But what about the mistakes we make, the habits that put us at even greater risk without even realizing it? That's where we're headed next. Sometimes, it's not just what we do, it's what we don't do that puts us in danger. One of the most common mistakes seniors make is brushing things off with a smile and a shrug. It's just age. It's nothing serious. But those little dismissals can be costly. Because while your body might be trying to wave a flag, you've convinced yourself it's just a breeze. Another trap? Turning to the internet for answers. One search leads to another, and suddenly you're convinced that what you're experiencing is either absolutely nothing, or something terrifying. Neither extreme helps. Only a real, personal evaluation from a trusted healthcare provider can give you clarity. And then there's the waiting. I'll see how it feels next week. Let's not make a big deal of it. But time is often the very thing these hidden conditions feed on. The longer you wait, the fewer options you may have. The truth is, avoiding action can feel easier. But it comes at a cost. And sometimes, doing nothing at all is the very thing that lets everything change. In the worst way. But there's still more you can do. Let's talk about how to stay empowered and take back the driver's seat in your health journey. Let's take a moment and step back. 5 symptoms, 5 seemingly small changes, that too often slip under the radar. Weight that disappears without effort. Fatigue that won't quit. Changes in your bathroom habits. That uncomfortable breathlessness. And those moments of confusion that make you feel like a stranger to yourself. None of them scream. None of them knock you off your feet. But all of them matter. And now, you know what to look for. But knowledge without action doesn't change much. What does? Empowerment. Taking charge. It starts with paying attention to the way you feel, not just the way you look. It means tuning in, not tuning out, when your body sends you a message. It means choosing to speak up, to write things down, to schedule that appointment even if part of you wants to wait. And if someone you love is showing these signs? Be the gentle nudge. Ask the questions. Share what you've learned. Sometimes, the difference between catching something early or too late is a caring voice at the right time. Getting older isn't about stepping back, it's about stepping into your power. You have more wisdom, more instinct, and more right to speak up for your health than ever before. These aren't just symptoms, they're signals. And now that you've seen them for what they are, the next move is yours. But we're not done just yet. There's one more thing you need to hear, and it might just change the way you see the road ahead. You've made it this far, and that means something. It means you care about your health. It means you're paying attention. And most importantly, it means you're not willing to let life quietly slip by while warning signs go unnoticed. Here's the truth, getting older isn't the end of something, it's the beginning of a new chapter where your choices matter more than ever. You've earned the right to live with strength, with clarity, and with confidence. But that starts with listening to the signals your body is sending and choosing not to ignore them anymore. No one else knows what it feels like to be inside your body. No one else can take the first step for you. But you can. Right now. Pick up the phone. Schedule that appointment. Share what you've learned with a friend. Start that journal. Make the decision that your health matters, and act on it. Because here's the beautiful part, you're not powerless. In fact, you're more powerful than you know. The clock isn't running out. It's ticking towards something better. And now that you know what to watch for, you're ready to take control, before it's too late. Your body's been talking. Now, it's your turn to answer.